16. This is Sports Extra. Sports Extra is brought to you by Huey Ford.
Welcome once again to Sports Extra. Our cameras were all over Central Iowa tonight. We have highlights from 11 games, and we get it started in Runnels. Newton visiting Southeast Polk. This one was all Cardinals. Luke Peterson goes in from 2 yards out. This made it 21-0 Newton, but Peterson isn't the only weapon in that backfield. How about Ryan Mackey, 15 yards to make it 28-0. The Newton ground attack in high gear once again tonight. They win it 56-6. In Urbandale tonight, football under the lights and in the muck. The Jayhawks hosting their old rival Ankeny. Urbandale strikes first. Brady Weber to Tom Malloy out in the flat, and Malloy will do the rest. A 48-yard touchdown, and the Jayhawks were out to a 7-0 lead. As Burt Reynolds once said, worked once, why not try it again? So Weber will go to Malloy again and take cover, folks. He's coming right at you. 14-0 Urbandale at that point. They lead it 21-14 now in the fourth quarter. This would be a big win for Coach Mike McClish. On to Ames, where Little Cyclone standout Jamie Burrow verbally committed to Nebraska today. You heard it first on News 5, and Burrow gets in on the scoring against Marshalltown. 3rd and 18, Scott Stevermer to Burrow. He burrows into the end zone. Nice running by the big guy, and Stevermer was on target all night. Off the play fake, he'll find Mark Charter from 12 yards out. The Little Cyclones building a big lead. And Aaron Greving would add to it. The super sophomore breaks free, and it's history. A 64-yard touchdown run. Ames led it 28-0 at the half. It's now 28-3 in the fourth. Ames could go 4-0 for the first time since 1972. Ottumwa paying a visit to a very wet Valley Stadium tonight, and the Bulldogs were thinking upset in this one. Check out the run here by the big fullback. He is rumbling. 78 yards on the run all the way down to the 1-yard line. It would set up a touchdown to make it 6-0 Ottumwa. But Valley answered with a safety, and then watch this run by Chris Ashton, their fullback. Terrific right here. He's like a weeble. He wobbles, but he doesn't fall down. Getting in the end zone from 22 yards out. 9-6 Valley at that point. We'll try to get you an update before our newscast is over if we can. On now to the American Conference and the undefeated Roosevelt Rough Riders taking on North tonight. The Polar Bear Band was sounding good for this one, but there was no stopping Roosevelt's football team. Cassius Cooper, 8 yards for the touchdown. What a terrific back he is. 42-0 in favor of the Riders at that point. And then Adam Bloom takes one in from 4 yards out. 49-0 Roosevelt. They roll tonight over North. Let's go out to McGrain Stadium. The Hoover Huskies trying not to lose their heads against Indianola. And Hoover gets on the board here. Chance Holton taking a chance. The long pass to Scott Johnson. Great catch right here. 46-yard touchdown. The Huskies still trailed it 21-6, and Indianola would strike right back. Quarterback Jeff Boardman will go up top to his tight end, Edmund Johnson, and watch the big guy break some tackles here after the catch. 28-6 Indians at the half. They are in a lightning delay in the third quarter with Indianola leading it by that score. They are about to go 3-1 on the season. To the south side we go, Lincoln hosting East, and Rail Splitter fans fired up for this one. Tom Hammond, the inside handoff, and Adam Judge is off and running. Second long TD for Judge of the night, and it puts the Rails back in front of this game. Now East wouldn't quit though. Chris Stanley going up top to Jeremy Hills. The touchdown pass keeps the Scarlets within striking range, but it was 28-14 at last report. Lincoln out in front. Now what a year it's been for Sadell High School. First the baseball team reaches the semifinal round of the state baseball tournament, and now the football team off to a 2-0 start. As my friend Chuck Reed out of Prairie Meadows would say, a sloppy surface for tonight's game, but it didn't seem to bother Jefferson Scranton, Peyton Jourdan. That's Jason Saker slipping and sliding in for 6. That tied the game. And then big Robbie Stevenson takes off for a touchdown run of his own. Jefferson up 14-7 at that point, and the Rams go on to get the win. 28-13 the final, first loss for Sadell. Let's go up north to Nevada, home of the Cubs, and some really big propellers too. But Nevada runs into a Johnston buzzsaw tonight. Brad Sewell zipping one over the middle to Ryan Royce. 15 yards for the touchdown. 21-0 Dragons. And Royce isn't done yet. He's playing both sides of the ball. He thinks he's an Iowa barnstormer. Sacking Austin Toot like a bag of groceries here. And Johnston takes care of Nevada tonight. The Dragons improved to 2-1 on the season. North Polk at Gilbert tonight, where the local barber ought to give out refunds. Man, that is bad. But the Tigers look good on the field. Mike Kraus going up the gut, 3 yards for the touchdown, and Gilbert leads at 7-0. But North Polk comes right back on the very next play from scrimmage. Eric DeGraff is going for it all, and Josh Warner is going to get it all. A 56-yard touchdown. The extra point missed. 7-6 Gilbert at that point. And we have yet to get a final on that game. Please give us a call if you have one. Last but certainly not least, it's homecoming night in Madrid. And the Tigers jumping all over Green Mountain Garwin. For the third week in a row, Larry Fuller takes the first play from scrimmage, the distance. That is unbelievable. This one covers 72 yards, 7-0 Tigers. And on Madrid's very next play from scrimmage, it's Fuller again. Rod Bothold is no dummy. He's bailing out. He doesn't want Fuller running into him. 41 yards for the touchdown. The Tigers ringing the victory bell in the first quarter. They win it big over Garwin tonight. Madrid now 3-0 on the season. They're averaging about 70 points a game. Many more good games in the area tonight. Let's roll through all the scores that were called into our football hotline tonight. And keep it right here. We'll update the baseball
class. The LS400 offers a custom fit in an off-the-rack world. Unthinkable, except by Betts Lexus Des Moines.
You're on Channel 8, and this is Football Friday Night. Go Panthers!
All right, go Panthers indeed. I guess we're going to have to find out how the Panthers and lots of other teams did.
You'll have to wait just a little bit to find out how Panorama did. First, we're going to go to 4A. Undefeated and third-rated Ames at home tonight. The Little Cyclones, the top team offensively and defensively in the National Conference. Marshalltown looking for its first win. It wouldn't happen tonight. Watch this very nice connection. Scott Stevemer to James Burrows. A 35-yard touchdown pass. The PAT no good, however. 6-0 Ames in the first. Still in the first, it's Stevemer again. This time to Mark Carter in the end zone corner. A 12-yard touchdown. Two-point conversion was good. 14-0 Ames. Stevemer, the leading passer in the National Conference. The final, number 3 Ames, 28. Marshalltown nothing. Rather, that is in the third quarter. Well, after beating 2 straight top 10 teams, number 6 Valley hosted unbeaten Ottumwa tonight, a team which has qualified for the playoffs every year since 1992. First quarter, Ottumwa's E.J. Reiser with the 3-yard touchdown. Ottumwa leading 6-0 after the PAT missed. In the second quarter, Valley punting. It's Curtis Peterson and Rob Johnson getting to the Bulldogs for a safety in the end zone. Valley led it 9-6 at the half, and the Tigers did win this one just barely. They beat Ottumwa 16-6. The Newton ground attack started steamrolling Southeast Polk early tonight. The 8th-rated Cardinals out to rebound in Runnels after an upset at home last week. A very wet night tonight. The ball boys getting ready. Newton's offense ready as well. Ryan Mackey had already scored when Luke Peterson broke loose. A 65-yard scamper for Peterson, 14-0 Newton in the first. The Cardinals actually passed tonight. Jeff Buckley will roll right coming up, and he'll find Luke Peterson, and Luke dives inside the 5 to set up another TD. He scored it. That made it 21-0 Cardinals in the first, and Newton wins it 56-6. With a 3-0 record and one of the top rushers in the American Conference, Roosevelt hoping to crack the 4A top 10. They would need to avoid the North Jinx first. Roosevelt with the ball. Cassius Cooper stopped in his tracks, the tackle by Robert Johnston. But you can't stop Cooper all night. He averages 135 yards a game. Here he rips off 55 yards for a TD, and Roosevelt was up 28-0 at the half, and they would beat North 48-0. This is Ankeny at Urbandale. The Little Hawks knocked out of the top 10 last week. Ankeny's Justin Lausch, that is, with the interception in the third quarter. Brady Weber intended to find Tom Malloy on that one. And in the third quarter, this game is getting very close. Urbandale leading Ankeny 21-14. That should be now in the third. Elsewhere in the Central Iowa Metro League in the fourth, Fort Dodge 51, Mason City 18. In the third, it's Indianola 28, Hoover 6. Scoop Sneller tells us there was a lightning delay in that one, and Lincoln has come back to beat East 33-32. On to Class 2A and the Ballard-Huxley game in Carlisle. Both teams winless on the year. Carlisle was up 14-0 in the second quarter when Chad Goodhue and Andrew Girton hooked up a touchdown for the Wildcats. 21-0 Carlisle at the half. The Wildcats defense just too much. Here, they will recover a fumble. Carlisle goes on to beat Ballard-Huxley tonight, 28-8. Meanwhile, in Bondurant, Prairie City Monroe out to keep its record perfect. Here, Prairie City's Joe Kane times it perfectly and picks it off at the Bondurant 17. Jeff Kincaid put on a show to close the first half. This is Kincaid scoring from the 8 after the interception to make it 27-0 Prairie City. Kincaid added a 46-yard touchdown before the break. Prairie City looks like it's going to go to 3-0. They are leading 35-14 in the fourth quarter. 2 of the top 10 teams in Class 1A are members of District 8. That would be number 3 Panorama and 6th-rated Pleasantville. Those 2 teams play each other next week. But tonight, Panorama was in Colfax. Check out Travis Gepfert with the 45-yard touchdown. You saw him do his thing last week. He did it again tonight. 7-0 Panthers in the first. And at the start of the second quarter, after a Colfax Mingo fumble, it's Bobby McFadden with an 89-yard sprint. A couple of plays later, that made it 21-0 Panorama. The final in this one, 55-0. And this is Woodward Granger at number 6, Pleasantville. Peeville's John Crownhour picking off Steve Smith right here. Crownhour returns at 4 yards, and Peeville's on the board, 7-0. Still in the first, Woodward Granger punts, and what do you know? It's Chris McCullough who will return it all the way. There goes Chris, 59 yards to the end zone, and a 14-0 lead for the Trojans. Pleasantville over Woodward Granger. These 2 teams were unbeaten. The final, 60-6. We saved one of the best for last. This is what it looked like at Madrid tonight. The top-rated team in Class A having its way with Garwin GMG. This game was short-lived. We got a game summary from Patrick Truby right after it was over.
There was a handoff to Larry, and he went for a touchdown, and he made it. And then it kept on went over and over, and he kept on making them by that.
Thank you, Patrick. He was referring, of course, to Larry Fuller, Best of the Preps here on News Channel 8 very recently. And we have a heck of a lot of other scores for you on the roll. We started off with Webster City's 42-0 win over Humboldt. And we'll be back.
The Border. Football Friday on U Center 13.
Yes, it's Football Friday, and that means scores and highlights from around the region, including this game between Southeast Polk and Newton. And boy, kind of a rough one out there. Didn't even think they could get off the ground tonight, but they did.
Yes, Pat's in the Sports Center with all the details on all the games.
They got them in. Most of them started a little bit late because of that rain, though. We start tonight with a look at the future of the CIML. Ottumwa joins the league in 2 years, as we show you our Football Friday ticker. But they're getting a taste of Ottumwa is tonight against 6th-ranked Valley. Todd Bailey joins us now live from Valley Stadium with all the highlights. Todd?
That's right, Pat. That rain kind of hit us about 45 minutes before kickoff and was coming down in buckets. Actually kind of cleared up, though. They even suspended the sophomore game after 3 quarters. Cleared up, turned out to be a beautiful night for a football game. Turned out to be a doggone good game. Ottumwa playing at 6th-ranked Valley and showing everyone they can hold their own in this conference. This is the first quarter, and E.J. Reiser breaks a couple of tackles and finds plenty of running room down to the Valley 1-yard line. He would score on the next play, and Ottumwa led 6-zip. 6-2 in the second quarter. Now watch the run by Valley's Chris Ashton. He's breaking tackles and bulldogging his way through the Bulldog defense, 22 yards. It was 9-6 Valley at the half. All defense in the second half until about 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and Valley puts the game away. Chris Daraska with plenty of running room, 74 yards for the touchdown, and Valley beat Ottumwa tonight 16-6. But I will say one thing, if the Ottumwa defense plays like they did tonight, they are definitely going to hold their own when they join this league in a couple of years. Pat?
All right, Todd. Very big win for Valley. We continue our tour of the Central Iowa Metro League with a stop up in Ames. The Little Cyclones are undefeated and ranked 3rd in the state. Tonight, they're hosting Marshalltown. Ames converts on their opening drive. Scott Stevermer dumps it to tight end Jamie Burrow. He races 50 yards for the touchdown. Little Cyclones take a quick 6-0 lead. Ames defense rising to the occasion later in the first. Jake Hansen intercepts Grant Bowsom's pass. He returns at 11 yards, setting up the Little Cyclones' next score. Will be Stevermer on play action. And he'll find Mark Charter in the corner of the end zone. 14-0 Ames. It's now late in the ball game. Little Cyclones lead at 28-3. We'll try to update that score on our Football Friday ticker. On to the Southeast Polk game now. The Rams taking on number 8 Newton. Cardinals trying to bounce back from the loss last week to Valley. Great night for a running game in the rain. That suits Newton. Ryan Mackey takes the pitch around end. 7 yards. It's 7-zip Cardinals. Then later in the first quarter, Newton gives it to Luke Peterson. He leaps the line, then rambles 49 yards for the touchdown, breaking one more tackle. Newton's already up 14-0. Then early in the second quarter, Cardinals by 3 touchdowns, looking for more. Mackey with the ball again, and again he finds the end zone. Newton leads 28-zip. At that point, they stopped the game early in the fourth quarter, 56-60, the final for Newton. Our next stop is here in Des Moines. Roosevelt is unbeaten, and tonight facing North. The Riders waste little time in this one. Joe Austin goes deep to Troy Simons. It's a 25-yard touchdown strike, and 6-0 Roosevelt lead. They add to it later in the first. Austin continues to air it out. This time he hooks up with Craig Price for the 20-yard TD. Riders go up 14-0. Then in the second quarter, Austin under pressure, but he completes it to Jamile Lang. Check out the moves. He literally jukes the entire North defense. It's a 30-yard touchdown, 27-0 Riders. Roosevelt rolls past North, 48-zip. The Riders 4-0. Look out. Let's head up to Urbandale now. The Jayhawks hosting the Hawks of Ankeny. Urbandale, the first on the board. Brady Weber will throw to Tom Malloy, and he races for the first quarter touchdown, beating the Ankeny defense, and it's 7-0 Jayhawks. Still in the first quarter. Urbandale adds to their lead. Weber will hit Malloy once again. Jayhawks surprising the Hawks 14-0 at the half. Check out meteorologist Scott Lind helping out on Football Friday and receiving some of the fringe benefits. Urbandale leads 21-7 right now in the fourth quarter. Our sixth and final CIML stop is at McGrain Stadium. Hoover entertaining Indianola. Indians already leading 13-zip in the second. Jeff Borgman sneaks it in for the Indianola touchdown. They lead 21-0. Hoover answers, though. Grant Noah makes the great catch on the pass from Chance Holton coming up here. Touchdown cuts the Indianola lead to 21-6. The Indians get it back just before half, though. Check out Borgman again. He'll throw to Edmund Johnson. The TD puts Indianola up 28-6 to break. That's the score right now in the third quarter. We'll update that one as well coming up later on the Football Friday ticker. Also in the CIML tonight, Fort Dodge blows out Mason City. Lincoln rallies past East 33-32, and fourth-ranked Dowling this week. As we look at the East Lincoln score, fourth-ranked Dowling is idle this week. Now to small school action in the top 10 battle in Class 2A. Iowa Falls is ranked number 1. Tonight the Cadets traveling to fourth-ranked Applington-Parkersburg. The Falcons of Applington-Parkersburg open the scoring in the first quarter. Dusty DeVries, whose brother plays for Iowa, scores on the touchdown at 7-0 Applington. But Iowa Falls unable to do it tonight. They lose to Applington-Parkersburg 19-14. So the top-ranked team in Class 2A loses tonight to number 4. Our eighth and final set of highlights are from Class A. Fifth-ranked Van Meter hosting Melcher. Dallas Bulldogs of Van Meter get on the board in the first quarter. Nick Lyon finds Trent Mikalski in the end zone. The 13-yard strike makes it 18-0 after the two-point conversion. Then a short time later, the Bulldog defense comes up big. Bart Elliott's long pass will be picked off by Trent Mikalski. And that sets up another Bulldog touchdown. 16-0 Van Meter at the half. The Bulldogs win easily 30-12. They are now 3-0. We'll turn our attention to college football next, but first, Major League